Ooh, snow, it's so weird. I haven't seen this in so long. Ugh. All right, so I'm here in Krakow with my go-to Pole, Mr.
Hello.
Conrad.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Are you serious? Squirrels just do this? And
Hi everyone, my name is Madeline and I am a professional singer and actress from the United States, and you are on the Vids World channel. So today I'm super excited to react to another Geography Now video, and this one is a little different than the ones I've done in the past. And this one is called So I Went to Ukraine During the War. It's 25 minutes long and I'm really excited to see what we uncover. So before I start, make sure you subscribe by hitting that subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon for notifications, and follow us on social media.
for security reasons, I decided to keep this trip entirely confidential and did not post anything publicly until I was safely out of the country. There are three things I hate more than anything else in this world: mosquitoes, waiting in long lines, and being cold. I usually end up getting stuck with one of them no matter where I go. Let's go! So, little context. Originally, I was not planning on going to Ukraine, let alone anytime soon, let alone during a war. But I was given an offer. Long story short, my friend Max that I met at Abu Dhabi last year is a talent manager. He's a fan of Geography Now. And then one day he hit me up and said, "Hey Barbs, how would you like to go to Ukraine for the Ukraine episode?" And I was like, "What the f?" And then he was like, "Yeah, I have connections." And then I was like, "Okay." And then my mom was like,
언제 내 말 들은 적 있어? 네가 하고 싶은 대로 하셔. 가고 싶으면 가고 오고 싶으면 오고. I don't care.
yeah, she's seen me go to a lot of crazy places, so at this point she's kind of dead inside, which works great for me. And it was interesting because this trip was gonna happen almost at the 1-year anniversary from when the war started. So I had to work with a short period of time when it seemed to be relatively calmer. So the company Max got me in contact with was visitukraine.today. If you have any questions about visiting Ukraine or just any questions in general, hit them up. They have all the information on their website, and you can even talk to some of them as well. They basically sponsored this trip because they wanted to help me out with the Ukraine episode, which is awesome. Thank you so much, visitukraine.today. But yeah, in any case, basically, even during war times, Ukraine is still trying to kind of salvage and maintain whatever little tourism industry they still have. However, if anybody decides to come and visit, they do let the people know that their trip will come with a degree of precaution. You could get bombed. If there is any imminent danger, they do let the people know with air raid sirens that you can hear outside your window, or there's an app that notifies them about anything that's going on that they need to be careful about, whether it's short-range ballistics on the east side or if it's military exercises going on in Belarus. It's so crazy. Like, they even notified me in my paperwork. If there is a bombing, you will have to go to the bomb shelter.
I feel like I have been so spoiled and live in a bubble because I have never ever had to deal with anything like this. Other than bomb threats at school and people writing horrible things on bathroom stalls saying they're going to shoot people, which is also still crazy. I've never had to deal with any wartime threats that could inhibit my safety. So it just makes me very humble and thankful that I don't have to grow up with that. So
I believe the law states that any commercial or residential property that is over 600 square meters is required by law to have an underground shelter built under it. So most businesses and hotels and apartment complexes have an underground shelter. It's pretty interesting how they have their system, you know. Second, getting into Ukraine is a little different because since the war started in 2022, all air travel into Ukraine has been suspended. So the only way to get into Ukraine is via land crossing. So this is how I got in. Basically, I would have to fly all the way to Warsaw, Poland, where I would meet up with my go-to Pole, Conrad, who was in the Poland episode. We would go to Krakow, the culture capital of Poland, and then from there I would go on my merry way on a bus ride all the way to Medyka, the town on the border with Ukraine, where I would have to cross by foot to the Ukrainian side. And I would meet up with my contact. So yeah, so with all of that in check, I packed up as much as I could, and it was off to Poland. Ooh, snow, it's so weird. I I haven't seen this in so long. Ugh. All right, so I'm here in Krakow with my go-to Pole, Mr.
Hello.
Conrad.
You may remember this thing from the Poland episode, the Barbican, next to the town gate.
How has your life been since the Poland episode?
It's been good. Looking forward to the next Zelda game because it's pretty much in a setting like this.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Are you serious? Squirrels just do this in
Look at his fluffy ears. That's a different kind of squirrel than I've ever seen.
Poland? Okay, well, as beautiful as Krakow was and as much as I loved it, this video is not about Poland or Krakow, it's about Ukraine. So with my last minute preparations, I had to get ready, prepare for the cold, do some last minute research, drink my coffee, and head out. This is it. Off I go to Ukraine.
Good music choice.
So this is the path to the border. I'm just gonna follow these people. Kind of surreal, you know, just people with suitcases, just walking into a war zone.
What's amazing to me about this is that it looks like he's by himself. And I would not have the confidence or feel safe enough to travel into any foreign country that I'm not familiar with by myself. Yeah. Okay.
Just crossed the border. I am now in Ukraine. I don't even know what to think. Wow. So this is my Ukraine go-to guy, Jan. How you doing, Jan?
Great. Nice to meet you.
So crossing into the west side of Ukraine was pretty interesting, as this area has seen relatively less conflict. The first thing you'll notice are the huge patches of mistletoe on the trees. Technically considered a parasite, but I honestly thought it was kind of charming. As we drove on, Jan immediately had to let me know some ground rules.
Military checkpoints, police checkpoints, a lot of militaries all around and a lot of police all around. So,
Okay.
it's forbidden to take any pictures of military vehicles.
Okay. Finally, we arrived in Lviv, the culture capital of Ukraine. Everywhere you go, you see historic buildings, murals on walls that honor the Ukrainian culture and people. There's a deep story behind this place, as it was a part of many different shifting empires and hands of sovereignty throughout the centuries. Well, this has to be the coolest looking dead-end alley I've ever seen in my life. If you looked a little closer though, like many other cities in Ukraine, there is a sort of ambiance of tension. Windows are boarded up with plywood, or sometimes they are even blockaded by sandbags. To conserve electricity, many businesses and commercial property use generators, as some of the power plants have been hit and attacked. This is a very common sight. And if I'm gonna be honest, quite frankly, witnessing all of this was a little eerie, but also exhilarating at the same time, because it showed a society that was trying to still function amidst the chaos. In any case, I would be staying at the Best Western Hotel in Lviv, which is honestly one of the most badass hotels in the entire world because they literally opened up in the summer during the war. The staff is super friendly, and the hotel not only has an
Wow, that's
amazing
beautiful.
atmosphere, but it definitely caught my eye because this hotel had one thing that really spoke to my character: maps. Everywhere you go in this hotel, you will see maps of various cities and regions across the world. Obviously, as the geography guy, I was completely in my element within this place. Hey, they even had a map of my home city, which felt pretty welcoming, not gonna lie. So this is the hotel room. It's pretty good. It's got a shower. I messed things up. Yeah, it's pretty good. TV, Wi-Fi, electricity, everything you need. It's great. Check it. They gave me a fruit platter
Aw.
and a card just welcoming me. Oh, what? Oh, these Ukrainians. Now here's the cool thing. The hotel actually has a restaurant underneath them, which doubles as a bomb shelter. They said they would treat me to.
I love the string lights. And that's also a beautiful way to use that underneath space that they're required to have for the bomb shelters. Because it looked like all of the images he showed of the other ones, they were really just carved out of the earth pretty much very much stone, dirt, nothing fancy like an American basement, which is refreshing, actually. I like this. But I love that they've turned it into a restaurant and put the string lights. That's so pretty.
A meal, and all they asked was that I reviewed it. But before the meal, they had to give me a few drinks, and this is where the story gets a little interesting.
Ooh.
So here it is, the zombie drink. I like it. I like it. They used my favorite rum, Kraken. Then they prepared a second drink, the Autumn Kiss. Let's do this in Ukraine. Down the hatch. Finished it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. After this, I kind of forgot to put on my lav mic, so the audio is gonna be a little choppy. Bear with me. So the restaurant here wants to treat me to dinner. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's find out. Also, I'm not gonna lie, those 2 drinks kind of hit me hard, and I am feeling a little loopy. Ooh. I am in no position to review food right now, but I'm gonna do it. And look at this butter they gave me. This is butter, basil butter. This is Ukraine, man. Only Ukrainians do this. This is incredibly Ukrainian. Salo, pig fat with herbs and just. I love greasy, fatty, salty foods. This right up my alley. Salo. So you cannot get more Ukrainian than borscht. Borscht is distinctly Ukrainian, and
Beetroot soup. I love beets. I've never heard of beetroot soup or borscht. I gotta try it. That'd be so cool.
they do it the proper way. Pieces of beetroot inside of it, and go crazy. Top 3 favorite soups in the world. Borscht.
Here we have the next dish for you. It's biltong with the Carpathian mushrooms. On the top of it, there is a moss.
I'm just eating whatever they give me, and it's good. It's like clam chowder, but better. They didn't give me a spoon. Let me try eating this with a knife. Yeah, you know I finished that up. I swear, why is it everywhere I go, my subscribers or the people I meet, the locals, they always try to get me drunk. It always works. It's happened in St. Vincent, happened in Bratislava, now Ukraine.
Yeah, and the next dish.
Filet mignon.
Yeah, it's a filet mignon steak. Madagascar pepper sauce to eat.
Madagascar hot sauce. Okay, let's do this. Filet mignon. How do I
I wonder if he's had more drinks. I know he said he only had 2, but either he's had more or he's got a really low tolerance. Because he's eating food and he seems to be getting drunker when it should be the other way around, right?
Look how juicy.
Ooh,
Come
that's
on,
beautiful.
Focus. Stupid camera, come on, focus. Focus on the juicy. I thought I made steaks good. This is on a whole other level. Look at the potato gratin. Oh shoot, it's gonna fall. Oh shoot. Still, 5-second roll. Seriously, I think this is the most luxurious meal I've ever had in my life. My goodness. And I'm having it in Ukraine.
Oh, he ate all of that.
Yeah. I am done. Day 2 in Lviv, the city comes alive. Notable sites are still there, like the guy who invented the kerosene lamp, the guy who founded the city, and so on. But of course, I would need a proper guide, so I met up with Miroslava, who will be way better than me at explaining Lviv.
This is Liberty Avenue. Our city is rather old because our Lviv was first mentioned in the Galicia-Volhynian Chronicles under the year of 1256. All the time, Ruthenians, Ukrainians lived here. All this time, medieval ages, Austrian period, we had in Lviv, we had Nazi invasion, we had Soviet period.
The conflict goes back even before that.
The conflict goes back to the 16th century.
First stop, St. George's Cathedral, probably the most famous site in this whole city. And if you looked a little closer, you'd notice a little something. So, question, why do they put the cage around the statue?
Because of the war.
Protection, right?
Protection, yes. Yeah, you can see 2 statues. One of the Pope of Rome, and Constantinople Patriarch.
The patriarch and the pope.
And the Pope, yeah, it means that the church, if you're Christians, you have to be united
So it's kind of like a mix between both.
between both, right?
Now here's the thing, Lviv is kind of like a double city, one above ground,
Love
one
that.
below ground. And in such, you will find many restaurants, cafes underground, like this really cool cafe. So now I'm at a cafe where it's underground and they give you a headlamp. Where are we going?
That's
And
so
once
cool.
you sit down, the show really begins.
Wow.
Okay.
Ходи, зробимо салфач.
Ukrainian SpongeBob is following me.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, I'm looking for a big drunk alcohol,
What is going on? Stop, explain. There's a red and black flag over there. Explain, what is that?
We have Ukrainian flag, it's blue and yellow, right? And we have another flag of Ukrainian Resistance Army, it's black soil and red blood of our boys
I
who
see.
defend Ukraine.
Now, as much fun as we had and as beautiful as some parts of the city were, you couldn't help but notice a somewhat melancholic undertone. Oftentimes, you might pass by a grave site with a Ukrainian flag, which meant it was the burial site of a recently deceased soldier. In fact, we actually came across this, a funeral service for a recently deceased soldier. I was surprised because they were actually imploring me to film this. In fact, they wanted me to give recognition to a fallen soldier. As he was carried out, everybody kneeled to pay respect, and everyone headed into the church where the service was held. This was just one incident amongst many, and I was told that this was pretty much a daily occurrence.
Despite that in Lviv now we almost every day we have a funeral ceremony in the center of the city, we have to continue to live. So we have to raise our children, we have to earn money, we have to work, we have to drink, to eat. We try to make our life as more ordinary despite the war.
As possible,
As
yeah.
possible, as it is possible. We have to live,
You have to live somehow.
right?
Yeah. Alas, it was time to move on and get out of the western side of the country and head east. And by that, I mean Kyiv, the capital. Several kilometers on the main highway before you even enter into the city, you'll notice remnants of the war with destroyed buildings that were attacked by Russians in 2022, even in little stopover places that paralleled the E40 highway like Makariv or Andrivka. Kyiv. Made it to Kyiv! Warfare did not really hit the city much though, and when you enter into Kyiv, you'll notice that it is still a somewhat functioning city. However, many major construction projects have been halted due to the war, yet they are still trying their best to move forward. From here, I would be staying at Hotel Bursa, right at the heart of the old town. This place was very charming, somewhat more of a younger crowd type of hotel. It has its own cafe and restaurant. Again, super nice staff, and of course, just like all the other hotels, if you need it, they have an underground bunker, and of course, my room was quite the spectacle.
Wow.
One rustic brick wall on the side and a beautiful bed. Of course, it came with your typical disclaimers in case if there was a power outage. So this is the room. Oh my goodness. Dear Paul, we appreciate you chose Bursa Hotel in Kyiv. We wish you a comfortable and safe stay. Enjoy the moment.
I love when they do little personal touches.
Yeah, I was
like
kind of
that.
obsessed with this bed, maybe even a little too much. So good that I even elbowed myself in the ribs and injured myself. In any case, it was getting a little late, and I decided to take my first night walk in Kyiv, and I kind of noticed something. So this is crazy. I have a little light with me. I'm here just walking along the Dnipro River. All the lights are turned off. All the street lights, everything is dark. The only lights are usually just coming from the cars, a few businesses. I don't even know if you can see it. There's the bridge way back there. All the lights on the bridge are turned off. Half of the city just goes dark at night. On that note, though, there was something good that came out of the darkness. It allowed the night sky to become illuminated tenfold. And for the first time in a long time, I got to see a moon halo or a moon dog. These things usually only occur in the freezing cold temperatures at night, and it was honestly one of the most beautiful spectacles I had ever seen in a city. Morning time in Kyiv is a whole different atmosphere. The city wakes up and starts hustling and bustling. People are moving, businesses are opening up, and people are trying their best to keep moving forward. So I'm from California. I don't have a lot of warm clothing, so I had to kind of pack up whatever I had that was warm. It worked on Christmas. Now, since the war, to conserve electricity, trams have stopped operating. However, the metro still functions. Now, if you know me, I love taking metros. Let's see how Kyiv fares. The Kyiv Metro is, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful metros I've ever seen.
Wow.
Mosaics adorning the ceilings with chandeliers. With 3 main lines, it's pretty efficient and gets you where you need to go. Nothing more beautiful than crossing the Dnipro River. If you're lucky, you can pass by the Motherland statue. It's amazing. So this is Arsenalna, the world's deepest metro station, 107 meters below the ground. Let me just show you in a time lapse how long it takes to get to the top. There you go.
Wow.
Arsenalna Station. So this is quite an interesting thing to witness. I'm here at St. Michael's Square, and right next to it are a bunch of destroyed Russian tanks and carrier vehicles put on display for the public, the locals, and any visitors to see as a way to kind of rally up the Ukrainian people to let
They put their colors, the blue and yellow little ribbons on these destroyed Russian tanks and vehicles. I wonder if that's like, oh, we're putting a little bow on it, or to show, I don't know. It must have some significance, but I thought that was kind of funny.
let them know that, hey, this is going on. Kind of surreal. It's like all these destroyed vehicles in the middle of a public square in front of a cathedral. This is, I guess this is the message that Ukraine wants to not only send to Russia, but to the world. Just like Lviv, Kyiv is a city that seems to have a central theme of being caught in the dichotomy of being in the middle of a war while trying to maintain a functional society, while also trying to portray its unique identity and culture to the world and share it as best as they can at whatever capacity. And in such, I could not come to Kyiv without missing not only a UNESCO heritage site, but the first one of the country, the St. Sophia Cathedral and complex. It was actually named after the Hagia Sophia and constructed in the 11th century. Unfortunately, I could not go in. It was closed during the time that I was there, but I was allowed to go up the bell tower. So you can definitely tell it's Ukrainian because the angels are wearing vishvankas. The bell tower offers amazing views not only of the interior and of the cathedral complex, but also of the city outside, and it is quite a privilege to experience. After all the Kyiv exploration, it was time for Jan to take me to one of the most important sites outside of the city. So in Kyiv, there were 3 lines of defense, and on the 3rd line, that's where all the fighting began. And here on the road to Zabuchia, you see all the destroyed military vehicles, tanks, carriers, just rusting, left here after all the months. These Russian tanks destroyed. From Zabuchia, the remnants of war just kept continuing from town to town. This is Borodyanka. It's on the strategic crossroads on the way from Belarus all the way to Kyiv. It was hit hard in February of 2022. The crazy thing is, people still live in these buildings. So this half was destroyed, but people actually still live further over there in that part of the building. The whole area northeast of Kyiv in the Kyiv Oblast is just riddled and speckled with site after site. Whether it's a destroyed bridge, a destroyed arts and culture center, rusting piles of cars that were destroyed within battles, Russian artillery boxes, the sites seem to be endless. Along the side of the roads, you see leftover Russian and Ukrainian trenches, little mounds where soldiers were fighting, tons of fields with unharvested crops due to the fact that landmines have been planted everywhere, rendering the entire areas as unsafe. It is speculated to take about 15 years to demine all of the fields. Rule number 1, do not walk into the forests or any place off-road. Ukraine is now one of the most mined places in the world. Landmines pretty much everywhere, unless if it has been checked. This is Irpin. Along with Bucha, it was where some of the bloodiest, most devastating battles happened. Bullet holes everywhere, aftermath, shelling. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot.
That is... Everything looks like a scene in one of those shoot 'em up video games. No. But it's just amazing, and not in a good way, to see things like this post World War II. And I know there's been wars, there's been plenty of wars since World War II, but that's what we learn about the most in all of American public education is World War II. But it just baffles and blows my mind that this still happens in 2023. And honestly, I'm sure as with many other people, it makes me emotional, and I'm trying really hard not to cry right now. But this is just, I'm going to stop talking and we'll keep watching. But this sucks.
To see, it's a lot to witness. This is the reality of war. Sometimes you gotta understand how things are really going down. In the end, what it comes down to is, like most post-Soviet nations, Ukraine is kind of caught in the middle of the East Slavic world and the West European world. The situation is very complicated and it's not simple to address. People are figuring things out and taking it one day at a time. You cannot avoid the topic of war in this country. It is everywhere you go and everywhere you step. But I really wanted to get to know the Ukrainian people, so I just had one little project when I came here. Thankfully, there was a little mini theater studio that I could use. Thank you to United 24 Media for stepping in and helping out with this. And I honestly just wanted to ask the Ukrainian people one simple question. What is a Ukrainian?
For me, to be Ukrainian, it means to be independent and to feel the freedom in our veins. For the 500 years we have been burned and we've been dying just with the one thing. We want to be free.
Ukrainian is a free will, free choice, and free land.
Missiles and drones and so on. You need to be fearless.
This country give me anything what I have for now. I am member of parliament, I'm Olympic champion, and I'm proud to be Ukrainian.
It's when you're always fighting for freedom.
But we are like everyone else, like to party, we like to drink, we like to have fun.
To be a Ukrainian means drink coffee and gathering with your family when Russian missiles attacking you, climbing your 23rd floor because the elevator is off. For girls, for example, it means dry your hair when in a car, you know, because there is no electricity.
Maria, is the hair thing true?
Yeah, it's true.
If you haven't been in Carpathians, I will probably recommend you to go there. The most authentic Ukrainians, their traditions in its most original way.
We want and we have to be creative to survive. Every single 15 years old girl in Ukraine at the moment knows almost everything about generators. Yeah, we know about HIMARS, we know about Leopards, we know about military guys. Every single Ukrainian are volunteer.
To be a Ukrainian means to be a hard worker, but to be a stubborn person. We are not very good team players. We are individualists. And it roots from our history.
I want to tell a big thank you for all men and women, of course, who are on the war now, and of course on the front line. A lot of women are there too. That's why Ukrainian women are the best women in the world, and I'm very proud of all of them.
And to be Ukrainian, it means that you definitely must to help each other. Your friends, your neighbors, your friends who are soldiers right now, police, National Guard, etc., and also for civilians.
It's like in the game, you know, trying to reach next level, it is harder and harder, and you're thinking, what is next? What is next? Why for me? Why it's everything for my nation? But finally, you can see that you are strong enough.
We are walking through the hell, but after I invite everyone to Ukraine and I will hug you, and if not me, we have everyone in Ukraine who will hug you.
I can't believe this is what my life is now. I started doing the Afghanistan episode in an apartment, and now I'm halfway across the world in a war zone. I don't know what's going to happen to geography now, but it seems like this is where things are now. I got this far in life. Let's see where life takes me after this.
Wow, that was powerful. Obviously, I am trying not to get emotional. My cat, I have a cat, and she can tell when I am feeling sad or slightly emotional, and so you saw that she came and visited. She's actually in my lap right now. You can see her tail. But thank you all so much for sticking with me for this live reaction. I know it's a little bit longer than most of my videos are, so I do appreciate it. And let me know in the comments what you would like us to react to next. And if you liked this video, please scroll down and give it a like on the like button. You can support us on Patreon or buy me a coffee if you'd like, and hit the super thanks button down below if you feel like giving a little extra support. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.